Who answered still lonely? I think this will be about 58 students who joined this meeting. Can you inform it to your friends in your class group to immediately join us because the class will start. Right now it's 7:42. Okay, hello, good morning, everyone. Let's start the class. Could you please turn on your camera so I can see you? And for you who have visited the link and answer the questions there, please do it. Please turn on your camera. Hello, everyone. Turn on your camera, please. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning.
Ya, saya kira nggak bisa dengar suara saya. Please turn on your video. Silakan boleh santai belajarnya, but turn on your video. So at least I can see that there are you there. You may listen to my explanation while eating something or just find the comfortable spot for you there at your house. But please turn on your video. Are you ready? So I will know that you are ready to start the meeting. Okay, thank you. Yang belum nyalain videonya dinyalain dulu ya. Masih banyak nih. Yeah, so just let's start the class because right now it's 7:46 and you will have 2 classes in this first section. Thank you for answering my questions, everyone. Just want to know how your condition is. By the way, maybe one or two of you can say something here to tell what you feel today, because as we know that yesterday was your last day in having the practical test, right? Practical test in the practical class. And right now, just really early in the morning, you have to start your class at 7:30. Yeah, some of you said that feel bored, okay? Let's see the answers of some students here. Look at the one that has the big font. Some of you said fine, happy, sleepy, okay, tired. Yeah, I really understand that. Good. But some of you also said that you are bored. Okay. And also other answers here. Ada yang bagaimana kabarnya, anak-anak? After you have the finish the practical class and right now you have to start your theoretical class, you have to come back to your laptop again, right? Or to your mobile phone again. Gimana perasaannya? Ada yang mau sharing nggak? Any one of you? Nobody? Wait, let me close it first so I can see you. Ada yang mau sharing nggak? Boleh saya tanya ya. Fadlan from 12.8. Hello, Fadlan.
Yeah, miss.
Okay. What do you feel, Fadlan?
Happy.
I cannot hear your voice clearly, by the way. Your voice is too soft.
Happy, miss.
Happy? You feel happy?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Okay, miss.
Okay, good. How about you? Siapa ya? Salman from 12.7. Hello, Salman. Are you there?
Yes, miss.
Okay, what do you feel today, Salman?
I feel so happy because I already finished my test.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah. At least you've done with one step, right? And just do the next step. Right. I think the practical one is the hardest one for you in SMAKBO, right? And you have done it. So congratulations for everyone. And you just need to finish everything in the theoretical class. Okay, let's start the class. Let's start it by praying first. The captain from 12.7, Alif, can you please lead the prayer before we start the class?
Yes, miss. Before we study, let's pray together. Begin. Enough. Say greeting to our teacher. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, can you say something? Good morning everyone. Can you answer me?
Yes, miss.
Good morning, Miss.
Okay, thank you so much. Jadi hari ini silahkan santai-santai tapi serius ya. Because as you know that we really have a very limited time to finish everything. If the Alpha teachers and also I have made some schedule for you, as what you can see the timeline that we posted in classroom, that you only have 6 meetings to finish everything, and you're going to finish the second project from us, which has a title. What is our second project? What is it about?
report text.
Report text, right? Thank you, Febriansyah. Ya, it is about report text. Ya, jadi di project kedua kamu akan belajar tentang report text. If in the first project it is about procedure, and the second is about report. Okay. If you translate report into Indonesian, what does it mean? Artinya apa report itu? Report itu artinya apa kalau di bahasa Indonesia? Laporan. Thank you, Naufal. Ya, report itu kalau diartikan artinya laporan ya. Actually, report text is like the same as like but it's not the same as your report that you always write after you finish your practical class. Bukan laporan seperti itu ya. Your special report is different. Bukan yang seperti itu. But okay, let's find it by listening to my explanation. Let me share you something. By the way, materinya di classroom sudah dibaca atau belum? Sudah dibuka-buka atau belum? Wait, let me check first.
Yes.
Can you give your virtual reaction if you check and read it? Please, yeah, just say yes or give the yes. Yes, emoticon, sorry. Yeah, one student answered no. Ya, yang sudah siapa? Saya pengen tahu berapa orang. Only one? Two. Yang lain sudah atau belum? How about others? Have you checked it? If you check, please give your yes virtual reaction. How about others? Okay, not many students have checked it, but it's okay. I really understand your condition, so you need to pay your attention here ya. Masih banyak yang belum nyalain kamera, ditunggu ya, dinyalain ya. Kalau enggak saya tunjukin mulu nanti. Ngancem saya. Ya, let me share you something here. Can you see into your screen? What can you see there? Can you tell me what do you see there? Hello, can you answer my question? Can you answer my question?
Descriptive and report text, Mas.
Yeah, you see two texts there. Okay, with the title descriptive versus report. Okay, I have two texts here entitled My Parrot and the second entitled Birds. Let me give you about a minute maybe, 30 seconds I think. Saya kasih waktu 30 detik ya. Boleh dibaca dengan cepat dua teks ini. Okay, have you done? Are you done reading it? Can you answer me? I'm afraid that you cannot hear my voice. Suara saya terdengar nggak sih?
Terdengar, Miss.
Dengar, Miss.
Ya, ya, tolong respon saya ya. Okay. Some students ask for the permission for not turning on the video because of some reasons. Yang bisa nyalain ya. Yeah, okay, we have two texts here, okay, based on the title that I give to my file, it is descriptive versus report, right? So it means one of the texts here is report text, and one of the texts in this file that I showed to you is descriptive text, okay? Actually, report and descriptive are quite the same, but they have the, what we call it, the different function, okay? Okay, let's look at the text with has a title my parrot first. Okay, kira-kira yang ini, the text with the purple color here is report and descriptive text. What do you think about it?
Report text.
My parrot is a report text.
Descriptive text.
Descriptive text.
Descriptive.
Descriptive for report. My parrot.
Descriptive.
Yeah, this one, yeah, the text which has a title, my parrot, is the descriptive, is a descriptive text, right? So it means the one that has the, what call it? I think it is peach, yeah, peach color is report text. Actually, both of the texts are talking about birds, right? The one is about parrot, and it is my parrot, and the second is birds in general. Okay, look at to the text here. Okay, kita baca cepat ya. I have a parrot named Bejo. Bejo is a parrot that is very active and agile. My parrot has a very dark black color and yellow beak. At the back of the head, there are parts such as yellow cups. Okay, and so on and so on. Okay, and look at the second one. Birds. Bird is vertebrate animals that have feathers and wings. Birds are the only vertebrate animals which can fly. Birds have thousands of species that spread across the world, starting from the smallest birds, such as hummingbird, and the largest birds, such as blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 okay? Until the end. Nah, dari dua ini, dari satu, from the first paragraph, I think, look at my parrot first. How many birds are described in this text? Only one. And it is my parrot. So, of course, the description that is given in this text only describe one bird. There is no other bird that has the same characteristic like my parrot, right? So there is only one bird that has name, one parrot that has Bejo, and that has a name Bejo, okay? And with some other characteristics too, which has very active and agile, has a dark black color, and also yellow beak, and so on and so on. Okay, but for the second text, okay, which has a title birds, okay, how many birds are described in this text?
Many birds, miss.
Many birds, and it is various birds, right? There is not only one bird that is described in this text, okay, but many birds, and the birds are various, bermacam-macam, ya kan? So it means this one, okay, describes the birds in general. Yeah, but for the descriptive text, it describes something specifically. Jadi yang cuma itu aja loh yang dijelaskan. Ya. But for the report, it will describe something in general. Jadi secara general. Do you understand that? Do you understand it or not? Give your virtual reaction again. Kalau mau jawab, paham belum bedanya deskriptif sama report? Ya. Okay, if you understand it, can you give me one, what we call it? One example for the report text title. Kira-kira judul apa yang bisa dipakai untuk report text? Boleh ditulis di chat room? You don't want to speak? Can you give me an example of a report text title? Reptiles, okay. Thank you, Fabiansa. Aji, cats, okay. Fish, ya, Kalila. Right, fish can be one of the title of report text. Ada lagi 3 orang doang nih jawab. Should it be always living things? Yeah, because the 3 students who answers are wrote something. Oh yeah, Akila answered books. Yeah, you can also use a title which is not a living thing. Ya, tidak selalu benda hidup ya. It can be books or maybe laptop or maybe apa ya, mouse, okay, glass or maybe laboratories. It can be a place, yeah, but so of course in general, hotels, okay, good, Nisa. Hotels in general, of course. Smartphone, good, Rini. What else? SMAKBO. Okay, wait, I will keep SMAKBO first. What's next? Okay, let's talk about Kesha's answer. SMAKBO, cars, memos. Okay, thank you, Ahmad. Thank you for that. Okay, let's talk about SMAKBO, which is the answer from Kesha. Do you think that SMAKBO can be used as the report text title or not? Yes or no? Coba, boleh virtual reaction-nya lagi? If you don't want to say something. Yeah, at least you give your response. Yes or no? SMAKBO is a report text or not? Yes or no? Safina answered no. Fadlan said no. Kenapa no? Ayo, ada yang mau jawab nggak? Why? Why, if you have a text entitled SMAKBO, it cannot be called as report text? Ada yang bisa jawab? What do you think, Salma? Salma from 12.8. Can you give your reason?
Because SMAKBO is specific to only one school, Miss.
Only one school, right? It's a specific thing, yeah. There is only one school in this world that has a name as SMAKBO, right? Ada nggak di dunia ini yang sekolah namanya SMAKBO? Maybe no, ya. Yeah, I believe no. Okay, there's only one school that has a name SMAKBO. Nah, ketika cuma satu, okay, of course it doesn't have various characteristic, right? Ciri-cirinya pasti nggak various, only one. Oke, ya cuma SMAKBO yang kayak gitu, yang buildingnya yang seperti itu, and it is only a school. This is a school that studies about chemical analysis, ya, and so on and so on. Oke, ya, jadi be careful ya, in differentiate the descriptive and also report text. Kalau yang dijelaskan cuma satu, hanya itu saja, so it is descriptive text. But if you describe something and you describe something in various, for example, schools. Kalau schools kan umum ya, okay? So it is report text. Or maybe you can describe about public schools or private schools. Although itu adalah dua hal yang apa ya sudah dikategorisasikan, but still you describe something in general. Ya enggak? Because there are many public schools in this world, right? There are many private schools in this world, right? Do you understand that? Do you understand it? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Let me move on to the next part. Yeah, like what I said to again, saya share lagi ya. Kita pelajari dikit tentang report text. Okay. If you still remember, and I'm not really sure that you remember it or not. If we study about genre, text genre, tentang genre text, there will be 3 parts or 3 points that you are going to study. The first is social function, the second is generic structure, and the last is language features. Pasti akan ada 3 poin yang kamu pelajari. First, social function, second, generic structure, and the last is language features. Social functions, of course, is like, what is the functions of the text? Okay, like what we discussed before, okay, when we differentiate the descriptive and also report text. Okay, report text is used to describe something in general, right? Jadi mendeskripsikan sesuatu secara general. And it can be used to describe a thing. A living thing can be an animal, a plant, or a phenomenon. Okay, a thing tadi sudah banyak yang ngasih contoh ya. Cars, schools, I forgot what you mentioned. Okay, and a living things also there are some students mention it like cats. Oh yeah, books. Thank you. Living thing like cats, reptiles, and others. Okay, but the last you can also describe a phenomenon. Can you give me one example of a phenomenon that can be used as a report text? Sorry, I cannot really hear your voice. Can you type it in the chat room, maybe? Rainbow, thank you, Gina. I don't know, maybe there's something with my speaker. Can you type it in the chat room? Thank you, Gina. Rainbow, good. What else? Tsunami, good, Chika. Earthquake, yes. What else? All of them are natural phenomenon. Yeah, tornado is also a natural phenomenon. Saya sekarang tanya lagi. Meteor rain, okay, good, Nisa. How about social phenomenon? Storm, good, Fadlan. Rain, good. Ya, coba saya pengen contoh judul who talks about social phenomenon. Bully, yes, Nisa, right, bullying. Okay, good, what else? Racism, okay, Kesha, good. Yeah, racism. Or maybe tawuran, yeah, fight among students. Criminal, okay, Alif, good. Pandemic, COVID, good, Billiansha. Yeah. COVID pandemic, okay. Okay, thank you. I think you start to understand it, but be careful. There is one text that is called as explanation text. Ya, ketika belajar tentang teks genre teks, ada satu teks yang diberi istilah explanation text. Most of the text maybe have a title like storm, and then tornado, or maybe tsunami, and so on. But the focus of the text is different. If in explanation text, it will describe the process of it. Jadi proses terjadinya tsunami, proses terjadinya tornado. But for in report text, it will describe it in general. It will also describe the kira-kira nama tornado ini berasal dari kata apa sih gitu. Yeah, it can also describe like that. Or maybe it can also describe the process of how it happens. Or maybe it can also describe the effect of it. Efeknya apa sih gitu. Jadi it will describe in general, all of them, not only the process. Gitu ya, bedanya antara report sama explanation text. And next, the text is made as a result of observations and analysis. Yes, because it will discuss everything about the thing, okay? So, of course, it will need observations and analysis. The observations and analysis shouldn't be done like in observations in the laboratory. No, it can also be done by reading some references. Hanya dengan membaca referensi atau finding a lot of sources from the journals maybe, or from book, or from the newspaper, from the article, itu juga bisa dikatakan sebagai observation. Ya. Okay. Can I move on to the next part? Paham ya? Do you understand it, everyone? Okay. Okay, let me move on to the next part about the generic structure. Okay, agenda structure is the how you will write your report text, and it will be in order. Harus dalam urutan seperti ini ya. You cannot write it in a different order. Okay, sorry. And there are only two generic structure in report text. The first is general classification, and the second is descriptions. Yeah. In the first, general classification, of course, it should be put in the first paragraph. Selalu di paragraf pertama. Ya. It's like you introduce the topic that you are going to talk about in your text. Contohnya ini ada teks berjudul pigeon. Nah, berarti dijelaskan pigeon itu apa sih gitu. Jadi menjelaskan klasifikasinya secara general dulu. Okay, let's look at the text here. Terlihat nggak? Can you see it in your screen? Okay. Thank you, Salma, for giving the response. Pigeon refers to all birds of the family Columbidae and other columbiforms. They consist of 310 species. Some people may also know them as doves. There is no clear distinction between the use of the word pigeons and doves until today. Generally, the word pigeons is used to address the species known as the rock dove, while the word doves is used to address a pigeon that is white. Oke, jadi ini baru menjelaskan secara umumnya aja, memperkenalkan pigeons itu apa sih? Itu kadang juga bisa dijelaskan tentang ini ya, how the word pigeon comes from. Ya, sometimes some words are come from the Greek word, okay, or maybe from the English word or from the French word. Yeah, sometimes it is mentioned that. Or maybe it's like give the definition, the description, the general description. Contohnya, if it is described about mammals. Oh, berarti mammals ini adalah hewan yang apa? Menyusui dan melahirkan. Ya, that will be described there in the general classification. And the next one, the next paragraphs, the second paragraph until the last paragraph, it will describe the specific or the not specific, the special characteristics of the topic. Oke, coba kita lihat di sini ya. Descriptions are used to describe the things which will be discussed in detail. Jadi lebih detail, part per part. The physical characteristics, physical tentu saja yang terlihat ya. Kalau pigeons yang terlihat ya maybe the beak, okay, the feather, the legs, okay, kakinya kayak gimana sih, bulunya kayak gimana, what else? The head, okay, how about the body, the size of the body, and so on. Or maybe the habits. Kalau habits, like how the reproduksinya gimana, cara makannya gimana, okay, merawat anaknya seperti apa, how the birds fed on the babies, ngasih makannya gimana, I will describe that, and habitat, how where it lives, and so on. Dan masih banyak lagi, depends on the things that you will describe. And later, when you construct your text, okay, I suggest you to differentiate or to categorize the characteristic in different paragraphs. So in one paragraph, only describe one characteristic. Kalau mau menjelaskan tentang habitnya, so only put it in one paragraph. Jangan diloncat-loncat ke paragraf yang lain. Ya, or maybe you want to describe the physical characteristic, hanya dijelaskan di satu paragraph. Ya, like that. Understand? Do you understand it? Okay, let me move on ya. Masih ada satu harus saya bahas. And we only have 15 minutes left. The language features, saya akan panjang di sini ya. There are 6. The first is noun or noun phrase, the second action verbs, the third simple present tense, the fourth passive voice, the fifth technical or scientific terms, and the last is linking verbs. I think for the noun or noun phrase, you already know it, right? Noun berarti kata benda ya. Saya bahas sedikit tentang noun phrase. Noun phrase, ada yang bisa cari noun phrase di sini nggak? Di teks ini. Coba carikan saya frase kata benda di dalam teks ini. Noun phrase is a noun that is modified with adjective. Ada yang bisa jawab? Boleh di chat room kalau ngomong-ngomong. Okay, there is a noun that is modified with adjective, and it is called as noun phrase. For example, I have a red veil, okay, red veil, kerudung warna merah. Nah itu noun phrase. Nah coba deh di paragraf kedua. Can you find a noun phrase there?
Short legs, Miss.
Black, sorry,
Short legs.
short legs. Good. In what paragraph is it? This
Kalimat
one. Yes.
Yes.
To-nya juga ngikut ya. Two short legs. Good. It is noun phrase. Ada lagi?
Small head.
Small head. Okay, good. What else? This one. There is a lot. Their body is compact with two large and muscular wings. Yang mana nih noun phrase-nya? Their body is compact with two large and muscular wings. Yang mana noun phrase-nya?
Two large and muscular wings.
Good, sama right. Two large and muscular wings. Ya, itu noun phrase-nya. Jadi sayap yang berotot dan besar. Yang jumlahnya 2. Okay. And the noun phrase, the position must be in the subject or object. Gitu ya. Yeah, hopefully you can understand it. Let me move on. Action verbs, I think it's easy. Jadi all verbs that show an action. Contohnya lari, jalan, ya, run, walk, and then eat, sleep, ya, that shows an action. Simple present tense, I think you have understood it, right? And since report text talk about general truth, okay, so it should use simple present tense. Passive voice, the one that we are going to discuss after this, and then technical or scientific terms. I think this one can be identified if you can find the italic word or the italic font here. Column bidet, column B forms, jelas ini scientific ya. Atau pigeon itself, it is also a scientific terms. Karena ini membahas tentang pigeon. Okay, or species itu juga termasuk scientific, okay? Yeah, but the clear one, I think this one that has the italic font. And then next is linking verbs. Mungkin saya nggak akan jelasin panjang tentang linking verbs. Singkatnya adalah linking verbs adalah a verb that connects the subject and object. Okay, and most of the linking verbs can be shown in the word to be. Contohnya nih, tadi kita kembali lagi ke kalimatnya. Their body is compact with two large and muscular wings and two short legs on it. And the word he is, kata is di sini yang bisa kita sebut sebagai linking verb. Kenapa? Karena the word is here connects their body with compact with bla bla bla. Jadi menjelaskan badinya itu kayak gini loh. Ya, it is different with the action verbs. Kalau action verbs kan menjelaskan the object, the subjeknya melakukan sesuatu, gitu kan ya. But in linking verbs, it doesn't show an action at all. Jadi seperti kebalikan dari action verbs. Atau contohnya lagi apa ya? In the word have, okay, the smallest species may have the size blah blah blah, and the word have here, okay, can be called as linking verb. Karena menghubungkan antara apa? The smallest species dengan the size-nya. Both of them has a connection. Gitu ya. Atau secara singkatnya, kalau mau gampangnya ya, linking verb biasanya terindikasi dengan kata kerja to be. To be itu bisa SMR ya, atau kata have. Itu ya secara singkatnya tentang linking verbs. Bukan linking park ya. Do you know linking park? By the way, do you have any question about report text before I move to passive voice? Question? No? Boleh pindah ya? Waktu kita terbatas. Okay, let's move on to talk about passive voice now. Sebentar. Okay, can you see it, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, passive voice. Passive is the opposite of active. Oke, sebelum saya jelasin secara lengkap in English, kita bahas dalam bahasa Indonesia dulu nih. In Indonesian, the passive and active is differentiated by looking at the we call it prefix atau suffix ya, ya imbuhan di depannya, Biasanya kalau aktif itu imbuhannya apa? Kalimat aktif dalam bahasa Indonesia imbuhannya apa depannya? Ada dua.
Subjek.
No. Ya. Predikatnya biasanya ada imbuhan apa? Oke, good. Yang kedua apa? Ber, right. Dan ber. Ibu memasak. Oke, ber apa ya? Aku belajar. Ya, belajar dari imbuhan ber ya, sama ajar jadi belajar. Nah, itu disebut sebagai active voice. Kalau passive, oke, ada dua juga imbuhannya. Apa itu?
Di.
Dan right. Ya, nasi dimasak ibu atau kakiku terinjak. Ya, both of them are passive. Kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia, actually in English it is the same. Okay, so you are going to focus on the verb. Kalau in English predikatnya itu kan disebut verb ya. Okay, you are going to focus on the verb. Okay, passive voice. Okay, here I try to differentiate the active and passive. Nah, okay, look at here. Active voice means the subject is doing an action. Okay, look at the example to make it clear. Mary is writing a poem. Okay, what is the subject of the sentence?
Mary.
Okay, so it means Mary is doing an action. What is the action?
Writing.
Right. Writing is writing. Yang mendapatkan actionnya siapa? A poem, right? Right. Yeah. The subject is doing an action, and who got the action? It is the object. It is the active voice. But in passive voice, yeah, it is the opposite. Means the subject is receiving an action. Tinggal dibalik ya. Okay. The position of the object, you move it to the subject. Okay. The subject is receiving an action. I have a sentence here. A poem is being written by Mary. What is the subject of the sentence?
Mary.
Mary. Be careful. The subject always in front of the predicate or in front of the verb.
A poem.
A poem. Right. Ingat ya. Walaupun di sini subjeknya Mary, kita bicara tentang bagian kalimat ya. We don't talk about the person. Okay. The subject is a poem. Okay. And the action is being written. The action is being written. Ditulis. Okay. And by Mary here is not the object. Look at here. The subject is receiving an action. Subjeknya menerima sebuah aksi. A poem ditulis. Paham maksud saya? Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Okay. That's the difference between active and passive. To make it clear, you can use the help from the Indonesian imbuhan tadi ya. Okay. And why sentences should be written in passive? There are some reasons. The first one is it wants to focus on the okay, look at here. Wait. To show interest in the person or object that experiences an action rather than the person or object that performs the actions. So it wants to focus on the object, not in the subject. So not the person who showed the action, but the thing that got the action. Okay, sebagai contohnya ini nih. The hotel was built in 1994. So it wants to focus on the hotel that was built, not who built the hotel. Okay, the writer doesn't care about the person who built the hotel. Orang-orang yang bangun hotelnya tidak jadi fokus dari kalimat ini. Ya, tapi fokusnya adalah ke hotelnya itu. Okay, so it is made in passive voice. Atau contohnya lagi, ketika kamu punya barang dan barang kamu hilang. Oke, contoh biasanya gampangnya dikasih contohnya itu ya. My bike was stolen. Atau my smartphone was lost. HP-ku hilang. Ya, sepedaku dicuri. You don't know the person who steal atau who stole your smartphone. Or who stole your bike. Fokus kamu adalah sepedamu hilang, smartphone kamu hilang. Okay? In that case, you have to write it in passive voice. And then next, we don't know or do not want to express to perform the action. Actually, it's quite the same like the first reason. Ya, all the cookies have been eaten. Kuenya udah habis semua nih, gitu. Siapa yang makan nggak tahu ya, nggak peduli gitu, bukan jadi fokus dari kalimatnya. Okay, but the focus is there is no cookies left because all the cookies have been eaten by someone, of course. Okay, and next, it is used in a formal text. One of them is report text, the one that we discussed before. Yeah, one of the example, tornadoes are known as one of the major disasters. Karena tentu saja tidak ada yang melakukan aksinya ini ya. Okay, because it wants to focus on tornadoes itself. Siapa yang melakukan aksinya? Nggak ada, ya. And then, okay, that's the reason why we use passive. And next is how we make passive voice in English. Okay, one of them, you always use the preposition by. Biasanya ciri-cirinya ada kata by, yang kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia diartikan sebagai oleh ya. The picture was drawn by my brother. Gambar itu digambar oleh saudara laki-laki saya. Okay, the room is clean every day by the maid. Ruangan itu dibersihkan setiap hari oleh asisten di rumah itu, gitu ya, oleh pembantu di rumah itu. Okay, biasanya ada ciri-cirinya by. Should or should we use the word always? Should we always use the word by in passive voice? The answer is no. Tidak selalu ada kata by ya, because sometimes we don't focus on the person who do the action. For example, is this one atau ini ya, tidak ada kata by-nya. We don't focus on the person who eat the cookies. Or this one, okay, the writers of the sentence doesn't focus on the persons who built the hotel. Okay. Sebentar, sampai titik ini paham nggak? Do you understand it? Okay, saya bisa lanjut ya. Okay, let's move on to this one. Okay, now how to make active into passive. Okay, remember, okay, look at to my writing here. Remember, always keep the verb tense the same. Jadi tensesnya harus selalu sama. And what you change is the verb. In the verb, you have to change it into to be plus past participle. Okay, kalau kamu klik yang ini, kamu akan menemukan tabel ini. Oke, sebentar, di sini akan dijelaskan secara lebih jelas ya, the difference or the change of the active into passive. Oke, I differentiated into tense. Lihat tensesnya. Kita bahas pertama dulu ya, yang simple present. Oke, because in report text you will focus on simple present. Oke, look at here. In simple present, verbnya selalu verb keberapa?
One.
Verb one. Right. And sometimes it add with s, selalu kadang ditambahkan dengan s jika apanya? Jika subjeknya adalah
He or it.
he, she, or it ya. He, she, it. Ingat, subjeknya ditambahkan s. Subject, verb one plus object. Saya kurang titik ya ini. And look at to the passive here. Diubah menjadi to be plus verb 3. And as you know, in the present tense, there are 3 to be's. Ada 3 to be dalam bentuk present. Apa aja?
M is sama R.
Yes, right. M is and R. Okay. M is and R. And since the object here is the letter, kita pindah ke depan. The letter, and because the letter is singular, so you use to be is. The letter is, and then you change the verb here into verb 3. The letter is written by Rani. Okay, but it will be different if I write Rani writes the letters. So it means the letters is in plural, right? Okay, so how about the passive of the sentence that I have mentioned? Rani writes the letters. What is the passive of it?
The letters are written by
Letters are written by Rani.
Good. The letters are written by Rani. Be careful ya. Jadi to be-nya tidak selalu mengikuti ini, but it is followed the subject in the passive voice. Mengikuti subjek yang di depan ini. Okay, that's for the simple present. Kalau kita lompat dulu ya ke simple past ya. Okay, look at the simple past. Actually, it's quite the same. In the simple past, you use verb to, right? Rani wrote the letter. And in the past form, ada dua to be. Apa itu? Kalau di present ada SMR. Kalau di past ada dua apa? Was and were. Was is for the singular noun, yes, right? And then were is for the plural noun. And because the letter here is the singular noun, so you use was. Dan ingat, verbnya selalu verb 3. The letter was written by Rani. But if I change it into Rani wrote the letters, kalimatnya jadi gimana?
The letters were written by Rani.
Good. Okay, very good. The letters were written by Rani. Understand? Oke, itu yang simple past. Simple future-nya kita belakangan. Sekarang kita ke present continuous dulu. To the continuous, we have present continuous and past continuous. In continuous, you must use to be plus verb ing. Look at here in the past continuous, you have to be plus verb ing too. But the difference is in the to be, right? Di present pakainya is, di past pakainya was. It depends on the subject. Because singular, kamu pakai is sama was. And how about the passive? Be-nya, loh Miss sudah ada be-nya. Jadi be-nya gimana? Be-nya yang is sama was-nya tetap tertulis, okay? And then the be itself, you make it into being. And the verb, it is in a verb tree. Okay, the letter is being written by Rani. The letter was being written by Rani. And of course, it will change if the letter become plural. Kalau ini jadi the letters, ininya berubah jadi apa? Are. Okay. If it is the letters, it becomes were. Right. The letters were being written. How about if I have a sentence? The students are studying passive voice. What is the passive sentence of that sentence? The students are studying passive voice. One of you? What is the passive voice of that sentence? The students are studying passive voice. Yang mana yang diubah ke depan dulu?
Passive voice.
Passive voice. Passive voice is being
studied
by
the
student. Okay, paham ya? And let's move on to the perfect now. We have present perfect and past perfect. The characteristic of perfect, you have has in present, has atau have ya. In past, you have had. Okay, and after it is followed with verb 3. Ya, nah, if in a continuous, be-nya berubah menjadi being. In perfect, it changes into been. Ya, and it is the same. Has-nya tetap ya, had-nya tetap. But be careful, has it is only used for the singular subject or singular noun. Sorry. Kalau yang plural, dia berubah menjadi apa? Have. Right. If I have Rani has written the letters, ininya berubah jadi apa?
Letters have.
Yeah, the letters have been written by Rani. Ini tidak berubah ya kalau headnya ya. There is only one head in a past. Understand? Paham ya? Bentar, saya lanjut dulu ke simple future. Pertanyaannya kita kumpulkan di belakang ya. Okay, in simple future, you will use will, right? Okay, and I will also discuss about models because will is also categorized as a model. Okay, besides will, we sometimes we also have can, should. Ada model apa lagi ya in English selain will, can, should? Mention it, please. Must. Okay, what else?
May.
May, good. May, bentuk keduanya apa? Might, okay, good. Can, could, yes. Will? Would, okay, good. Kalau should, bisa jadi shall ya.
Shall.
Or has to, infinitive. Ini sebenarnya juga model ya. Okay. If you have the active that is used models, the passive one, you just need to add be in front of it. And then followed by the verb tree. And you change the verb into verb tree. Rani can write the letter can be written by Rani. Rani should write the letter should be written by Rani. Yeah, has to write, has to be written. Will write, will be written. Ya, lebih gampang ya, tinggal diubah menjadi be plus verb tree. Saya kok banyak tipu ya ini ya. Sorry. It should be double T here. It should be use a capital letter. Okay, it's the same. Would write, will be written. Is going to be written. Ya, and for the conditional past ini jarang ya. Jarang saya pakai juga di soal. But only for your information. If you have would have written, it becomes would have been written. Okay, so I think that's all about passive. Hopefully it's clear for you. Do you have any question, by the way? There is a question from Ahmad here. Ahmad Fikri. It doesn't need an object, miss. Wait. Ahmad, hello, are you there? So what do you mean? For the passive, you mean? Ahmad, hello. Fikri, sorry. Yes, Fikri nggak bisa bersuara ya. Yeah, sometimes there is no object in passive. Tidak selalu ada objek ya. Okay, because it wants to focus on the subject who receives an action. Ya, jadi fokusnya kepada subjeknya yang menerima action. Jadi nggak butuh objek in passive. Right, you're right, Fikri. Is there any other questions, by the way? Question? Can you answer no or yes? Give your reaction, please. So I will know that you already understand it. Don't be silent. Question? Now everything is clear. So let's measure your understanding. Please visit the link that I shared in the chat room, everyone. Ada sedikit quiz ya. Hopefully you have a good connection. Okay, Miss Leonie and also Miss Nyamans are waiting in the waiting room. So after this, you are going to directly have the LBS class to discuss the second project. Boleh kita quiz dulu dikit ya. Okay, I'm still waiting. Silakan ditunggu yang belum bergabung. I am preparing presents for the top 3 in this quiz. Not something big, not something expensive, but just my appreciation for you. So you have to do your best in this quiz. Okay. Okay, 45, 48. Lagi ya, nambah lagi. 50. Yang lainnya mau bergabung nggak? I'm still waiting. Yeah, at least 55. Come on. 3 more students. Okay, let's just start it. Let me start it. Okay, now. Ready, everyone? Time is up, and the answer is rice. Yeah, because it discuss something in general, okay? SMAKBO, tadi udah kita bahas ya. It is specific. Pevita Pierce, of course there's only one Pevita Pierce in this world, okay? So it is specific. My bedroom, there is only one bedroom in this world that is your that it is owned by you, yang dimiliki kamu, okay? So the correct answer is rice. Alfan. Okay, let's move on to the next. And if you pay your attention to my explanations, you will know the answer. It's so easy. Masih ada yang salah nih, berapa orang? 13 students. Okay. The answer is conjunctions. Action verbs, noun phrases, and passive voice are the language features of report text. Keywordnya dari kata not ya. Conjunctions kata hubung bukan ya. And who is the leader of this quiz? Baby. Okay, let's move on to the next. Now let's move on to the passive voice. You ready, everyone? Choose the correct passive voice for the active voice mentioned in each questions. So you have to find the change of the active voice that I mentioned in each question. Okay, ready? We're also talking about the news. Be careful with the subject. And the answer is the news is being talked by the girls. Why it is not the news are? Although the news, it has S in the end, but it is singular. News itu adalah singular uncountable noun. Kata benda yang tidak bisa dihitung, but of course it is uncountable, so it is singular noun. Oke, karena singular yang dipakai adalah is, not are. Itu ya. Nah, artinya apa? You have to be careful later with the subject. Oke, news adalah singular. Masih banyak yang keliru ya. And who is the leader? Okay, Fauzana and Ronald. Let's move on. I still have 2 more questions. My family has renovated our house 3 times. And the answer is our house has been renovated 3 times. Hati-hati ya. Oke, kalau yang my family has been renovated artinya keluargaku direnovasi rumah. Yang menerima aksi siapa? Keluarga atau rumah? Rumahnya ya. Masa rumahnya merenovasi keluarga? Oke. If our house have been renovated, be careful. Our house is singular. Oke. Walaupun ada our kita, but the house is only one, right? Rumahnya cuma satu loh, tapi dimiliki oleh kita, oke? Dimiliki oleh banyak orang, but the house is only one, so it is singular. Because it is singular, you use has, okay? Let's see the leader. Okay, one more. I still have one more sentence. It's still K or who? Oh, okay, K, Ronald, and Salma. And the last one, I will decide who is the winner. It's so easy. The fastest will get more points. The sentence is so easy. And the answer is, yeah, most students answered it correctly. The project will be presented by the team next week. It's so easy, right? Ini gampang ya. Yang masih salah perhatikan, will tinggal ditambahkan be, and then presentnya diubah menjadi verb 3, okay? Projectnya pindah ke depan. The project will be presented by the team, okay? I think this is one yang masih keliru, diperhatiin lagi ya. And who is the winner? And the winner is K. Who is K? Is it Keisha? Or who? K, Ronald, and Salma. And I don't know who Ronald is. Is there any Ronald in 12, 7, and 8? K, Ronald, and Salma. Give applause to them, everyone. Okay, Ronald and Salma, please chat with me, okay, in my WhatsApp number after the class with your LBS teacher finish. Okay, I have present for you, and for the others, let's try another quiz later. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Okay, do you have any question, by the way? Oh wait, I should finish this first. Oh, wait, I still have another one. Still in your Mentimeter, everyone. I still have another question there. Can you see your Menti? Have you closed it or not? Masih di link yang sama. Well, I'm asking the no, I admit the LBS teachers. Okay, give your opinion about today's class and ngantuk. I'm sorry if you feel sleepy. Yeah, wait, Miss Leone and also Miss Newmans are now joining the room. So don't leave the room because after this, you're going to have the class with Albert 3 teachers who will explain about your second project, which is your presentations, of course. Okay, and if you still need more explanations about report or report text or passive voice, you just can contact me. Always online in my WhatsApp. Feel free to ask me anything if you need more explanation. Okay, and we are having Miss Newman, also Miss Leonie here. Hello, Miss Newman and Miss Leonie. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hi.
Yeah, I'm sorry for finishing the theoretical class late because the students are late to in joining the meeting, and I have a lot to explain to the students.
No problem.
Okay,
just take your time.
Yeah, actually, we have done. Just asking the students to give their opinion about my class. So, yeah, for the students, you may answer it. I will still present it. So you can answer it after the class finishes, maybe. And I'll give it to you, Miss Newman, and also Miss Leonie, to continue the class. Wait. There's a question from Aji. May I answer it, Miss Newman?
Sure, of course. Go ahead.
Miss, saya mau nanya, berarti kalau misalnya di kalimat aktif sudah pakai has plus verb 3 atau yang lainnya, berarti kalau diubah ke kalimat pasif, subjeknya selalu pakai has juga, Miss? The answer is no, Aji. Oke, jadi tergantung dari subjeknya ya. Kalau di has sama have, wait, let me share you. Oke. This one, di present perfect ya, contohnya Aji. If you have Rani has written the letter, it becomes the letter has been written by Rani. Why? It doesn't change. Okay, you use has because the letter as the subject is singular. Karena subjeknya singular, kamu pakainya has. But if I have the sentence, Rani has written the letters, artinya kan lettersnya bentuk plural ya. Okay, so you have to change it into have. The letters have been written by Rani. Karena lettersnya adalah plural. Okay, plural noun. Noun yang jumlahnya lebih dari satu. So you have to change it into have. Gitu ya, Aji? Can you understand that? Aji, can you answer me? Okay, thank you if you understood that. Thank you, Miss Newman, for giving me more time. Okay,
No, don't worry.
Let me give them to you. I will still in this room, but I will keep silent. Okay, I'll give them to you. Miss Newman and Miss Leonie, please, time is yours.
Okay, thanks, Miss Pia. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
Thank you, Miss Ria.
You're welcome, Miss Leonie. Yeah, Miss Leonie is coming back right now, everyone. Please welcome her.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Miss Yuman.
Hi, Miss Leonie. How are you? Long
I'm
time
good.
no.
Yeah, long time no see you.
Great. Are you at home or are you at school?
I'm at home.
Okay, me too. Class, where are you? How is everybody? How is everyone today?
Good, Miss.
Great. We have 2 classes joining today, right? Class 7 and 8. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you finished your English theoretical class. Now we are going to start talking about your new LB project. Yeah. So, okay. Has Miss Pia mentioned anything regarding to the new LB project? Hmm? May I have some responses, please? Hello. Did Miss Pia mention anything about your new LB project yet? Hmm? Yes or no? Yes or
Yes,
no?
miss.
Yes? Okay. If yes, then could you please tell me what things regarding your new LB project that you have already known? That Miss Pia
Sorry,
has
miss.
already told you.
Can you
Yeah.
repeat it?
Sure. Can you please tell everyone here, okay, to share a little bit about what you know regarding the new LB project, LB assignment.
Okay. The next project is the report text.
Mhm.
It's quite the same with the descriptive, but descriptive text is more specific about the topic, and the report text is more general about what you want to explain, and it based on the result of observation and analysis.
Mhm. Okay, so it means that you were expecting that you will know what to write in your script, right?
I'm sorry, miss. I couldn't hear it clearly.
That means that all of you already know what to write for the content in your script, in your text, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now about how you are going to present your topic when you're doing your presentation. Do you already know about that, or do you have any questions to ask about it?
I'm not sure, but I don't really understand it.
Okay, what do you not understand?
Maybe because I do not, you do not explain it before, so I don't really understand it. Maybe you could describe or explain it a little bit.
Okay, about the presentation, there's no difference. There's no differences on how you are going to present it. Still the same as you did with your first presentation assignment, right? When you were presenting about, what was the topic again? If the if clause, right? Yeah, that. So it's pretty much the same. You'll still perform in front of one of your teachers using the WhatsApp video call, and you'll be presenting without reading any text. Okay, we're expecting you to do it independently, and then you will be showing pictures as well. Okay, pictures regarding the topic that you are presenting, and yeah, for 5 minutes, and after that You will get another 5 minutes to answer questions from your teacher. So it's like that, pretty much the same, right?
Yes, it is.
Did you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any specific
5 minutes for
Yeah.
presentation and 5 minutes for answering questions. Specific what?
Is there any specific material we need to prepare before, or just
What do you mean?
picture, like I don't know, maybe some let's say if I choose a bird, do I need to make dolls
Text.
or rectangles like that to explain
Oh,
its body part, or say this is a wing, like that?
oh, you mean, yeah. Okay, like creating some artworks like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead if you have the time and if you have the ability to, create such art, okay, such craft about your object of presentation, go ahead. But we do not demand you to do that, okay? It is not a must. So simply showing pictures is already enough. Okay, but make sure that the pictures are colorful and clear. Okay, clear to be viewed in front of the camera. Okay. Does that answer your question, Fabriancha?
Yes, miss. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And if you want to explain about the parts of the body, for example, you can just use one picture and then make what do you call that? Draw a line and then write write some notes about the parts, the body part of that bird, for example, like that. Okay. Do not make things complicated for you. We don't want to burden you. We don't want to make it difficult for you. Make it simple, make it easy, but enjoy it. Okay. Okay, so that was questions from Fabriancha. Very good question for the start of our meeting today. Thank you very much, Fabriancha, for your question. So yeah, since Fabriancha already asked, opened, question session. So let's just continue with it then. Who else have questions about our next LB time?
I want to add something, Ms. Newman.
Yes.
From the previous performance, from the previous classes, I would like to remind you that you have to point at your pictures. Use your pictures instead of just showing it. Make sure that the pictures do not cover your face. The pictures can be fully seen by the teacher during the video call. And then please point at the thing that you are explaining. Okay, so the pictures are not only do not only become properties, useless properties that you show, but you really use the pictures as to help the teachers understand what you are explaining, because the text is something scientific. The teachers might not understand the content, and therefore, so please use your pictures really use the pictures, point at the specific part that you are explaining. So it will help us understand your content better. Okay? Next question, please.
I want to ask something about the script.
Okay, Salma, please.
In English Google Classroom, there is a topic about write reference. So do we need to put reference in our script? And if yes, do we need to tell you when we have a presentation, do we need to tell you the reference that we got?
Okay, because most of your text, most of the content of your text is something scientific, based on science, based on your analysis. So I think using reference is a must. Unlike a descriptive text, if it is a descriptive text, then the text is based on our subjective opinion about someone, about a place, about an animal. But if it is a report text, it is rather impossible for you to know the characteristics of animals scientifically by yourself. You need to Google that. You need to find references about that animal. So please write the references in the bottom of your text. And but during your performance, you don't need to mention that. It is enough to write the references on the bottom of the text.
Miss, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome, Salma.
May I add something?
Yes, please, Miss Yaman.
Yeah, Salma, and for the rest of you about using references. Use references, but do not, take the whole part of the content from that reference and then paste it into your work. Okay, that's not how we want you to do it. But you read, okay, read all the information there in whatever references that you're using, articles, journals, etc., etc. And then you use your own language. You use your own English to write it down again. Okay, write it down again using your own language, the way you understand it, into your text, into your script. So not copying and pasting it, copying and pasting it, not like that. We want to see you make original content, okay? Original, text that you are going to present to your teacher later. Okay, so no chopas. Okay, do not copy and paste.
Okay.
Right, Miss Leonie?
Yes. If you do so, it will affect your score and it will consider plagiarism.
Yes.
Okay.
Plagiarism is a no-no. It's a big no-no.
You read the text and you rewrite it using your own language. Paraphrase. The term is paraphrase. Paraphrase the content, the text, using your own language. The idea is the same. It can be the same. However, the language, the words, the way how you deliver the text must be different because the author, the writer is different, right? You have your own way to deliver the content. Remember not to plagiarize because in Google Classroom, there's a feature where teachers can detect how many percent you do plagiarism. Okay, the bigger your plagiarism is, the lower score you will get. You're welcome, Salma.
More questions? Yeah, and speaking of using, you know, like copying a lot of, let's say, the whole content from an existing article, for example, you will, you will find it hard, difficult yourself when you are going to present your material, because a lot of the words will be too difficult for you to remember, too complicated. Okay, and we would know right away that that is not your creation, it's not your work. Okay, and we don't want you to have any difficulties when you are going to present. And also when you are going to, answer questions from us, because a lot of you, when you copy work from other authors, and then we ask you questions regarding to what you just delivered to us, a lot of you could not be responsible and could not, answer those questions because you yourself did not understand what the content was all about. Okay, so make it yours. Use your own, information. Use your own knowledge, your own understanding about the topic to make your own content. That way, it will be easier for you to understand, and you will find it very easy to answer questions from your teacher later. Okay. Okay. Any more questions, please? Do you have any more questions? Anyone? No, not yet. Okay, if you don't have any questions, let's talk a little bit about how you did, or maybe we'll talk about that later. But for a little information that you need to know regarding this new assignment that you're going to do. Okay, have you already known about the topics that you are going to choose? We provided 3 themes, right? 3 themes for you to choose and for you to later on pick titles, okay, object of your presentation. So do you know what themes they are? No? They are about first animals, and then plants, and then the last one is?
Electronic.
Yeah, electronic devices. Okay, so there are 3, and there's a lot of objects, a lot of animals, a lot of plants in this world for you to choose from. Okay, choose the most interesting one for you and the easiest one for you to handle. Okay, as for animal themes, do not choose lion anymore. Okay, because in the video, the example video of how you are going to do the presentation starring me, I already talked about lion there in the video. Okay, so you are no longer allowed to choose lion. Okay, choose another animal. There's a bunch of animals there besides lion. So yeah, choose any of those animals. Okay, and then after after we talk about stuff and we don't have any more questions, you may start writing your topic in the spreadsheet that you are already given access to, I believe, right? And write your title there using black font. Do not use other color. We are going to see your choices, and we are going to change the color for you. If we agree on your choices, we are going to change the color, okay, the color of your title from black to green. It means that you're okay to go. Green means go. Okay, but if we use the color red to change the color to red, it means there's something not wrong, but there's something that you need to discuss about that title with us first. Okay, so you will have to check that spreadsheet again to see the color of your title. And if you find that your title is colored red, contact your teacher. Okay, contact the teacher that is assigned to check your script. You will know who your teacher will be. Okay, contact your teacher and ask about why your title is colored red. Is that clear? Yes. Okay, I see Nabila nodding her head. Thank you, Nabila. Nabila Adin Tak Fadia. Okay, good. You understand. And then please specify your topic, okay, your choices. Like Febriansha mentioned earlier, for example, he said, if he choose telling about birds, yeah, specify the birds. What kind of bird? Is it eagle? Okay, eagle or vultures or hawks or pigeons, doves, okay, or parrots. There's a lot of birds out there, right? So make it a specific what kind of bird that you are going to explain about. Okay, is that clear? Do you have any questions from what I just mentioned? No? Yes or no? Or yes?
By the way, do you already know who your assigned teacher is? Yes. Okay, good. Next questions, please. We have, by the way, we have.
Miss Leonie, I don't hear anyone responding.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Salma gave response.
Oh, she did. Okay.
She nodded her head. By the way, you have a class after this, right? At 9:30. We have 10 minutes to finish this. So please, if you have any questions, ask it now, please.
No questions?
It means that everything is clear. Is it?
Okay, while we wait for some questions, I would like to remind all of you again during the presentation, okay, about something that you need to do during the presentation. So when you are explaining, even if you are in the middle of explaining, but then we found you, making mistakes, whether that is mistakes in pronunciation or in your grammar, or we did not hear what you were saying clearly, okay, we'll ask you to fix that. We will fix it for you, but then what you have to do is to repeat again repeat again the sentence where you made that mistakes, and then you repeat it using the fixed version. You repeat it again correctly. Okay? Do not repeat the mistake, that the one word that you made the mistake on. Not only that, but the whole sentence. Is that clear? So for example, I still remember a line from my video about lions. There it says that lions live in a group, in a big group that is called a pred. For example, I said pred, that consists of a few adult female lions, but then your teacher caught that mistake, the word pred. It's not right, okay? It's supposed to be pride. And then I would say, your teacher would say, pride, not pred. Okay, the next thing that you have to do is repeat again that sentence, okay, from the start. So you will say, lions, okay, repeat it again. Lions live in a big group called a pride. Jadi diulang kalimatnya. Jangan hanya bilang pride-nya aja diperbaiki. Jangan seperti itu. Okay? Is that clear? Because I still see and hear a lot of you only mentioning that one mistake only, repeating that one word only. We don't want you to do that. Okay, we don't want to see you only fixing that one word, but please repeat the whole sentence. Bukan dari awal juga ya. Misalnya yang salah di akhir kalimat terakhir dari konten kalian ulang dari paragraf pertama, enggak seperti itu juga. But kalimat awal dari yang bikin mistake itu aja. Okay, this is important for you to know and for you to do. Okay, everybody. Do you have any questions? What time is it?
More questions, please. After your title is approved by the teachers, you may go with that and start creating a text. Please check the deadlines of the submission of the script. And during the presentation, please open and close the presentation properly. Although it is a face-to-face, it's not a face-to-face presentation, but it's a formal one. You are being assessed, and please open that presentation properly. For example, my name is Iqbal, and today I want to present, bukan I want to presentation ya, because I heard that many times. I want to present a report text about blah, blah, blah. And make sure that your voice is clear enough. And after you are finished with your presentation, close it properly as well. Close that properly. That's enough from me. Do you have any questions?
Or you can also say that's all from me. Yeah, that's all from me. Do you have any questions? Questions. Okay, don't forget the S. Banyak yang masih lupa bilang questions. Oke, jadi harus ada S-nya. Ya, that's all from it. Silakan dicatat aja karena masih banyak ada yang bikin kesalahan di sini ya. That's all from me. Jangan for me. Tapi from me. Okay. That's all from me. Do you have any questions? Begitu. Okay.
Make it formal.
Yes. Jangan, is there any question? Is there a question? Jangan begitu. Ya. Do you have any questions? Itu yang benar. Okay. Don't forget that's all from me-nya juga. Karena banyak juga yang langsung. Kalimat terakhir langsung, do you have any question? Jangan begitu. Ya. Harus ada kata yang mengakhirinya dulu. That's all from me. Do you have any questions? Okay. And then when your teacher asks you questions, you don't need to say thank you to each question that your teachers are going to ask you, ya. Thank you for the question, Miss. Blah 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 sama jawab. Jangan begitu ya. Bilang thank you-nya di akhir aja sekali. Yaitu pada waktu closing your session, the whole session. Okay? Nah, pada waktu itu kalian mengatakan that's all from me lagi ya. That's all from me, baru thank you. Nah, di sini juga masih banyak yang suka lupa. Okay, so please catat. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention, bukan intention. Attention. Perhatian artinya, attention. Intention mah niat. Makasih atas niat-niat apaan. Okay. Thank you for your attention and questions. Jangan lupa questions-nya juga disebut. Okay. Thank you for your attention and questions. Baru. Have a nice day. Itu aja ya, itu standarnya. Okay, very simple. All you got to do is to remember those lines, those expressions, and then you practice it. And then you do it. Pastinya, ya. Kemudian cara menjawab pertanyaan. Jangan langsung jangan langsung beri jawabannya. Okay? But please restate the question first. Restating question maksudnya bukan diulang lagi kata tanyanya ya, kata tanyanya jangan diulang lagi. Okay? You understand? Jadi misalnya contohnya apa ya? What is a carnivore? Misalnya dia bertanya begitu. Okay, what is a carnivore? Jadi jangan langsung short. Okay, misalnya, what do lions eat? I'm going to change the question ya. Misalnya, what do lions eat? Jangan langsung, they eat meat. Jangan langsung begitu. But you have to repeat what the question was about again. Okay? So you answer, lions eat, gitu. Okay, diawali dengan lions and do lions eat meat because they are carnivore. Carnivore means meat eater. So lions eat meat that they can find in the savannah. And the meat that they eat are from herbivore animals. Herbivores are animals that eat plants. So lions eat zebra, giraffe, okay, buffaloes, and other herbivores in the savannah. Begitu. Ya. Jadi jawabnya jangan pendek. Dikembangkan jawabannya. Dan cara mengulangnya seperti itu. Apa pertanyaannya, cara mengulangnya seperti itu ya. Okay. And then one more thing that I would like to remind you again. Please do not use contractions or contraction words. Okay. So tadi Miss Leonie bilang, I want to do a presentation or I want to do a report text. I want to present a report text. Jadi I want to, begitu ya. Jangan I wanna or I'm going to present a report text about lions. I'm going to. Jangan I'm gonna. I wanna, I'm gonna itu tidak formal. Ya, itu kalian menggunakan ketika ngobrol dengan teman, okay, in a casual situation. But when you're doing a presentation, we consider that as a formal situation. So please do it formally. I'm going to or I want to. It's kind of, ya, jangan kinda. Ya, jangan menggunakan kata-kata yang disingkat-singkat or contractions istilahnya. Okay? If you understand, just raise a thumb or nod your head. Do you understand?
Some of them show their thumbs.
Well, okay. That's still a good sign. Yeah, okay. I'm not expecting you to use just show it like this, yeah? Just raise your own thumb high. Use your own thumb. Use your own thumb. Okay, good. Good. I think we have covered all of the points that we want to share with you today. Is there anything else? Ms. Leonie, we have to tell them.
Yes.
Am I missing something?
No, I think. Please check your deadlines because the deadlines for each class is different. Make sure you do not miss it.
Yeah. Always check. Yeah, always check all of the updates that the teacher will give you, and yeah, that deadline is very important for you to understand that you won't submit anything late. Okay. So, is everything clear?
If there's nothing else, then we can end it, right?
Yeah. And you can go straight to choosing the title. Okay, remember, use black font, okay? All right, so I believe we can just end it here because I think that everyone is already, everything is already clear for everybody here, right? So, yeah, let's just end it, right?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, should we just let them leave? Yeah, are you there? How do we end this? Thank you very much, everybody.
We'll see you again in
Thank
the
you so much.
WhatsApp video call.
Yeah, thank you
Have
for
a nice day.
attending this room. Thank you for your participation. Have a nice day and take care, everybody, okay?